I certainly love me some SNES games, and there's a ton of fun ones on the system, and some of them could be worth a pretty penny.
You could be sitting on gold and not even know it.
Well, I don't think I have any grails in my system, but a lot of the games are from my childhood.
Ooh, the nostalgia.
Okay, so I'll be using videogamepricecharting.com for all the values of these games, and we're going to show you the most expensive SNES games in my collection. Let's get into the video. Starting off the list with a fantastic 90s action platformer game, and that is Earthworm Gym. So this game's coming in at $31. Certainly a classic 90s platform. I love the character Earthworm Jim. Such a cool concept, and playing this game a ton. The music in this game is fantastic. The art style, this just sums up the 90s. You know, I was watching Ren and Stimpy, and I feel like this has a lot of inspiration from that with just how wild everything is. This dog just eating Jim, the expressions he makes. The levels are so awesome and well put together. It's funny how this scene comes back around if you end up beating the game. The boss battles are great. I had such a good time with Earthworm Jim, and I'd oftentimes draw the character. I just loved how he looked, being an earthworm inside a space suit. Very cool concept. Gotta love Earthworm Jim. And up next, you know I gotta have this in my collection since I do drive a Mario Kart car, and that is Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. Where the heck is the Mario Kart cart? Alright, now I remembered where Mario Kart is. There's the trunk of my car set up. It's under this, hang on. So here's under everything. I have the clone system right here, and we got Super Mario Kart right here. Eject. And if you're wondering why I have a Super Nintendo in my car, these buttons right here, you flip them up. That will turn on the Super Nintendo and back. So you can see it right here. And it also plays right here on the TV screens. That's why I have them. That's why I have TV screens in the back of my car there. All right, let's grab the game. There we go. All right, back in the house. All right, Mario Kart's coming in at $32 loose. Super fun game to play on Super Nintendo. Gotta have this one if I'm driving a Mario Kart car. I picked my man Yoshi. This one's a little bit, I'd say, tough to go back to with playing all the modern Mario Karts. Sometimes it's hard to see in some of the levels, or, you know, I'm so used to drifting in the newer game. The mechanics are slightly different since this was the first one, right? I bet you most people probably enjoy the Mario Kart 64, right? But this is where it all began. Super Nintendo Mario Kart. And I do love the progression. The little screen on the bottom shows where you are, and you get to see all the people and the carts. Graphics look great. Gameplay's fun for sure. Definitely gonna have some good time with Mario Kart.
You drive a Mario Kart car, yet you don't have this one complete in box.
I know. Okay, I'll try to pick up the box at a convention in the future. I'll be going to SoCal Retro Gaming Expo in June if you guys are going to be out that way, so be sure to say hi. But on to the next one, which is also a loose car, and that is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, coming in at $34. Man, the memories of just this opening screen right here with the music, the Triforce assembling, so awesome. I played this game a ton growing up, and I watched my friend play it as well. I would go over to his house before I had my copy, and just roaming around in the land. It was so cool to explore and find new things, see what sub-weapons he got, and the story's so great in this. I love how it starts off in like a stormy night. Link is awakened and drawn to the castle, and you get your sword, and you are ready to go save Princess Zelda. And the adventure begins, and it's a great time for sure. Not much more you can say about A Link to the Past. Possibly one of the greatest games on Super Nintendo. Coming up next, we got Cybernator for $35. Play as this awesome mech roaming around in space, beating up other mechs. You get a cool gun that you can use, a little dash. You can also switch from your gun just to your fist and beat up the robots. Very fun game. Konami put this one out. I don't see a lot of people talk about this one here. It's the cheaper of the mech games. There is another game on Super Nintendo, a little bit more expensive, but this one's a fun one for sure. Once you beat the first level, it kind of turns into almost a side-scrolling shooters type, so they do switch up the gameplay a little bit. Cybernator. Check this one out. I know you love this.
I love that game.
Because of the robots, Jesus.
Speaking of,
we got Actra Raiser coming in at $35. Again, this is a great title. I watched my friend play this one a ton, and it switched up so much stuff that they merged different types of gameplay, where you're playing as this angel who's helping people, and you kind of go over the land here, and you can choose to come down, and the way they use this spiraling thing with the sound is great. And then it turns into this platformer action adventure style. You're playing as the knight there, and you have to kill all the monsters in this area and fight a boss at the end. And once you do that, people could then live there, and it turns into this sim-like game where you're helping the people kind of flourish. You have to get rid of some monsters and help them build roads so they can close off the monster portals. Once that is done and they're strong enough, you can move on to the next area. So much awesomeness in this game, and it's just sad that they got rid of the sim aspect in the sequel. I definitely love this first one. Next on our list, we got Super Turkan, $47. I remember renting this one from Stop and Shop exclusively, the grocery store. I don't think I got too far in it, but I really enjoyed it. This kind of has that Contra aspect. You know, it's like a side-scrolling run-and gun, but you get so many different weapons that you can upgrade and different abilities in this game. Plus, the music is fantastic. The graphics look great. I'm sure people have heard of this game before. Super Turkan's come up, and I'm sure plenty of hidden gems lists. So, if you haven't checked it out, do yourself a favor, play this one. This game just got released on the Switch, but playing it on Super Nintendo, $67 will cost you for a copy. Super Mario RPG. This was blown away when I saw this game here merging Mario, who we love so much, with basically Final Fantasy, right? And it was such a cool new concept. Again, I watched my buddy play it a lot more than I myself played it. I played it at his house, but since then I've gone through the game myself, and there's so many excellent secrets in this and replay value. You can go through and choose different party members. Bowser can actually be on your party. So many great things to talk about this game. Maybe experience it on the Switch if you want to pick it up. Technically, it's cheaper on the Switch than getting it on the Super Nintendo. It's a fun one for sure. Okay, before we get to my top 3, I asked you guys, what do you have in your collection as for expensive SNES games? We'll head over to the YouTube community page and see what you said. Alright, let's see what you guys had to say. Retro Patronum says, I used to have Earthbound, but regrettably gave it to my sister, where it's collecting dust. Now my most expensive game in my collection is probably the Mario 3D All-Stars on Switch. Mike Narua says, I haven't checked in a while, but I think these 3 are Final Fantasy 2 and 3 and Contra the Alien Wars. Jeffrey says, definitely my complete in box Turtles in Time. Cowabunga! Let's see, not sure how to pronounce this name. XERXESSTL says Earthbound or Chrono Trigger. Fantastic games for sure. And we got my buddy, the Mighty Me Spirit, says the most expensive Super NES game is easily The Mask, CIB. I got it for $134 at Book Off. Right now it's going for $510. Wow. Also, while I wasn't able to get a good clip for you in time, I could still support the video, so I'm glad that I can still be there in spirit. Keep up the great work, Russ. Hey, thanks so much. Hopefully you get your camera fixed and we can do something in the future.
Receiving transmission. Receiving transmission.
Hey Russ, what you doing?
Oh, hey, it's Gamer Aimer. I'm still blown away at how much stuff you collected in that room.
Yes, I have quite a few things over here in my game room. And I heard that we were talking about some of our expensive Super Nintendo games.
Oh yeah, you got one to add to the list?
And boy, do I have something for you.
Go for it.
So this is going to be one of my most expensive video games in my collection. This is Earthbound, complete in the big box. This thing is just insane because it takes a $300+ cartridge and turns it into something that goes for over $2,500. And at one point I saw these selling for like over $4,000, which is so insane, but this is a fantastic RPG. It's set in a small town, but you don't want that to fool you because there's so much more that's going on in this game. And this one actually comes with the player's guide. So this thing is just so beautiful. It has so much going on. There's uniqueness, there's quirkiness, even like the names and the funny jokes and everything else in here are just so charming. It really makes this game spectacular, and this is definitely a must play, especially if you love the Super Nintendo and you love some of these classic games. This is one that I would love for them to bring back, do another version where it's like this big box and just really, pay tribute to this beautiful time where we had such classic games. This one even still has the Kmart sticker on here for $69.99. So could you imagine getting tons of these back then and just holding on to them today? That is just so wild. So I just wanted to share this one with you, and I want to know, have you actually played this?
Well, thanks so much, Gamer Amber, for sharing that awesome piece in your collection. I'm sure you'll have to come back on the show because there's so many things in that big game room of yours. Alright, let's get on to the next one.
The moment we've all been waiting for.
Yes, down to my top 3 most expensive Super Nintendo games in my collection. And coming in at number 3 is... Number 3! Coming in number 3 is Killer Instinct Complete in Box for $73. I love the box art on this. Fulgur right there on the cover, just popping out. You get some screenshots on the back. Killer Cuts music CD inside. You know I still got mine right here. You can listen to it on Spotify if you guys don't have it. And I just remember bringing this manual to school and browsing through it. It's got all the moves for all the characters. I had so much fun in the arcade with this game. To bring it home on the Super Nintendo, I was stoked. And I got this strategy guide as well to help me get all the secrets, know all the characters, and dive into this awesome fighting game. These scenes here look a little off from the arcade, but they did their best to port it to the Super Nintendo. I was just having a blast. I would have to remap my buttons so my R and L would be my medium punch and kick, but love using the different characters and figuring out the combos. So many different combos that you can do. So much to remember in this game. You kind of pick a few characters that you like, and I do like the practice mode here, so you can, practice your combos. TJ combo, get your triple combo in. And the combo breakers as well that you can stop. I loved hearing that combo breaker. So great to play this game. Definitely check it out. I'm so glad I still have, this is my copy I believe I got it at Toys R Us back in the day. And still have all the paperwork and everything. Love this game. What do you got for me, Rob?
The SNES version of the game was also met with positive reviews upon its release. Commercially successful, selling 3.2 million units with more than 150,000 copies sold in the US on its release day alone. You know who my favorite is in that game?
I'm gonna assume it's Fulgur?
Orchid.
What? Really?
Yes, because of her.
And on to my number 2, which stars a leading lady with class. And that is... Number 2! Super Metroid, complete in box, $266. Funny enough, the player's choice right here is actually worth a little bit more, I guess, for some odd reason. Looks pretty neat. Love looking at the pictures of the screenshots and that beautiful cart. The colors pop so great on this. Certainly one of my favorite games that I played growing up and experiences. This opening is like nothing you've ever seen before. The way it sets the creepy atmosphere of you being alone in space, seeing the scientists laid out on the floor in that Metroid. Love it. Just gets your heart pumping, ready to go on a space adventure with Samus. And again, you come to that scene from the opening right there. So grim for an NES game. Once you land on the planet, the adventure begins. You start to explore, and you get to kind of go back to the original Metroid where it took place and everything went down, fighting Mother Brain before you escaped. And then that all comes full circle once you get to the end of the game, fighting Mother Brain once again in a very similar fashion with her contained in this glass case. But then things change. Once you do get her done, she's got a huge dinosaur-looking body. This fight was pretty epic, you know, not knowing what was going to come. So much exploring to do with this game. I remember just spending hours scouring the map for new power-ups, extra missile upgrades, and energy tanks. The music in each level is fantastic. And again, right at the end here, you thought you were a goner and your little Metroid buddy comes and saves you, and you get the epic rainbow beam to take down Mother Brain. Such a cool scene right here, and then you are the most powerful you'll ever be, unstoppable Samus the Bounty Hunter.
Super Metroid was released almost a decade after the original Metroid. Sakamoto said, "We wanted to wait until a true action game was needed, and also to set the stage for the reappearance of Samus Aran."
Oh, thanks so much for that fact, Rob. And I just wanted to chime in once again. This is awesome when you're trying to escape, you got time, and you see this path, and you think, well, all the doors are shut. I wonder what's down here. If you guys ever watched Games Done Quick, this is a big debate whether you come down this path here and save your little animal buddies who are hiding in this little hidden away door, and if you blow out the wall, they are able to escape. So you could beat the game without saving them or saving them. So it's definitely a fun debate. Do I save the animals? Do I go? And the only thing that changes, you see this tiny little blip when the planet explodes, and that's them escaping in their little escape pod from the planet before it blows to smithereens. Wait for the blip. There it is. They are safe. Man, that game just has it all. Great music, atmosphere. It actually made my list for top horror games.
One doesn't usually categorize Super Metroid as a horror game.
Well, hey, we like to think outside the box here on the show. Number 1! Okay, now on to my number 1, and that is no other than my childhood copy of Chrono Trigger. Complete in box, $733. It's my childhood copy with everything in it. So awesome looking. I just love the artwork of this. They gave you 2 posters that are reversible. They got stuff on the back and stuff on the front there. You could hang them up on your wall. An awesome scene right there with Chrono fighting and then them hanging out in the campsite. Such a cool scene. A great opening for sure. And I remember tons of memories playing this game. What's funny is I solidify Chrono Trigger. I don't know if you ever heard of the band Collective Soul, but I was listening to their album while I was like grinding to get my level up in this game. So this way I can progress and get further. And I was like, you know what? This album came out. Let me rock it while I'm playing some Chrono Trigger. And I just love all the different eras you can travel to. And once you get the epoch, then you can just go anywhere you want in time, essentially. And, you know, traverse the land looking for more stuff or just leveling up and seeing what comes to. It's so cool that they have multiple endings as well, so you can almost do like a new game plus and try to beat the game earlier on and get a different ending. So much great things about Chrono Trigger, and I even just finished getting my Chrono tattoo. I have Chrono tattooed on me just to immortalize how awesome this game and how much it means to me for sure. And RIP to Akira Toriyama, who passed away this year, unfortunately, but has left his mark on many of our lives with the great artwork that he has done. So if you guys haven't had the chance to play yourself some Chrono Trigger, it's on multiple different systems. Definitely check it out and enjoy this fantastic game.
Chrono Trigger was conceived in October 1992 by Harumbo Sakaguchi, producer and creator of the Final Fantasy series, Yuji Horii, writer, game designer, and creator of the Dragon Quest series, and Akira Toriyama, character design of Dragon Quest, and creator of the Dragon Ball manga series.
Oh man, that was a great list of Super Nintendo games for sure.
Well, I didn't see Earthbound on your list.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
Or Evo.
Okay, I don't have many heavy hitters in the list, but I like to think of it as a modest collection, okay?
I'm just busting your bolts.
Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, guys. Leave a comment down below of your most expensive Super Nintendo game in your collection.
Or feel free to tell us what video topics you love for us to cover in the future.
That's right, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you dug this video, be sure to check out this one where we break down the top 10 best NES endings.
You know I'm not in that video.
Yeah, I didn't hire you yet, but it's still a good one.
Maybe.
As always, guys, I'm Russ Lyman, and keep your world fun bit by bit.